Welcome back, Traffic Era blog visitors. And when we left off, we were discussing how to sort through all this information, all this keyword data, and digging around that you might do in your market. And we were talking about Japanese recipes. And so I want to give you an overview of how this whole process lays out and where it eventually leads so that you can make a blueprint for your site that's user-friendly for your site visitors, get you a higher ranking in Google because of the themed nature of your site after you do the work, and gets you a much better bird's eye perspective on your market, the market research you're doing, gets you a complete view of your market, where you might be leaving money on the table, how your products, if you have them, and services can be fitted into your different market integration points, and if you don't have a product, how you can figure out what products you might sell within a given market. So I call this my triangulation marketing method. And the way it works is you start off by brainstorming and just getting a market idea. If you don't already have one, you can go over to the best place to go is the Google search-based keyword tool. And the reason why, if you go down and click on this link at the bottom, you'll get a list of categories, all the top categories that Google lists. And then when you click on one of these categories, like I did in a previous video, I chose food. And then I thought, well, recipes might be interesting. Just kind of brainstorming, looking around. And these are all listed, all the food categories, by the categories that have the most monthly traffic. So under recipes, you've got all these keywords that are getting the most monthly traffic. And I could have picked any of these, but I just Japanese recipes popped in my head because I like Japanese food. So that's where we started. Then we went over to Google and we typed in Japanese recipes. And then we went to the Google Wonder Wheel by clicking on Show Options here after you've done the search. And you go down here to Wonder Wheel, click on it. And so I spent a good 2 hours digging around in this market. And I use a combination of the Google Wonder Wheel and then also the Google External Keyword Tool, which I already showed you how to find. And the combination of these two tools is going to give you a list and an overview of all kinds of keyword market areas that anyway, I won't go into this again, but it'll give you, what I did is compiled a huge list of market areas to target by digging around within the Google Wonder Wheel and then putting some of those keywords back into the Google External Keyword Tool, or the Google Sandbox, and just going back and forth and finding different areas that were highly related to Japanese recipes. And after I got done there, you know, I had a list initially of just like Japanese recipe type words. So I was thinking, well, you know, there's not really a ton to monetize here except for, you know, cookbooks and possible cookware, kitchen accessories, Japanese kitchen accessories that I had seen on, you know, some of the competitive sites. So what I recommend then, if you don't know if it's going to be a good enough market to monetize, is to dig around as much as possible in these tools and find keywords. But also, if you haven't been able to locate the products, go over and look at your competition, look at the top 10 sites or more, and see what you can find. So for example, on this bento site, what we originally saw was they're doing some AdSense advertising. They've got a Google search bar to make some money. They've got recipe cookbooks, and then they've also got, you know, cookware or utensil products listed here from Amazon and different places. And this is where I'm going to give you a huge tip. When you can't find products, you want to go over to a couple of different sites. There's three types of things that a website can sell. They can sell physical and digital products, and they can sell services in general. So four excellent sites to go to. Amazon is a good place to start for physical products. Then you've got ClickBank and Commission Junction. ClickBank is great for digital products, Commission Junction for digital and physical. And you've got eBay, which sells digital and physical. And then you can also go over to various affiliate networks and check those out. But the four biggies are Amazon, eBay, ClickBank, and Commission Junction, just to get an idea if there are products that can make money in the market. You can dig further if those tools don't reveal anything. But the basic strategy of the triangulation marketing method that I use is I start with a marketing idea. I brainstorm. So you can do that at the search-based keyword tool. Then I find the stream of traffic for my market idea. So Japanese recipes, I dig around in the Google Wonder Wheel and the Google external keyword tool. And then I find products to fit within that traffic stream. That's how you do it, and that's a great way to approach a market rather than a lot of people who find a product that's hot and then try and find the traffic stream to feed it to. Because you're limiting yourself in your perspective and your view of what all you can offer to your market. And you're doing it backwards. It's not that you can't make tons of money that way by just finding products and then finding traffic to match it to. Of course you can. It's just that you may find much better options and alternatives and not have to play within the box of competing with the people who are selling the hottest products. You can find products that people don't even know about that are great, and you can be the only one selling them. So why not dig around and look at your market from a bird's eye perspective? So what I do then is I go to Amazon, for example. For our site, we have Japanese recipes. So I'm looking for physical products to fit into this market. I don't know. Yeah, I spelled that right. And we'll start with all departments. This is what I did. I started with all departments, and I found I can't sort these by price. You have to go to a specific department to be able to sort by price and name and so forth. So just scrolling through this off the top of my head, looking at all the departments, I didn't really see a lot of high-priced items more than 30 or 40 bucks. So we're really not going to make a ton of money off of that type of stuff, and you're going to have to get a lot of traffic. So what do? Then you go over to a department, to try and see if maybe you're missing something. But pretty much if you look at all departments and then scroll through, you're going to realize there's not a lot of higher-priced stuff here. So this is where a little common sense comes in. Instead of doing Japanese recipes, just type in all things Japanese. And when we do that, we get totally different results. But I still wasn't satisfied with the all department search. So I wanted to narrow it down to, when I go into home and garden, which is what we're doing, it's kitchen and cooking related. So it's in the home and garden department. Then we start to get some interesting stuff, and we can actually sort when we're in a department by pricing. So let's see if we can find those high-priced items. We'll sort high to low pricing. We're not in this to make $1 a sale, are we? So yeah, we don't always want to offer the highest priced product, but we want to find a valuable product that would be useful to the visitor. So here we go. $3,700 for a Japanese griddle. $2,800. 23, 23, 22. And actually, when I kept going through all these items, I found some Japanese cutlery sets and other things that I can add to my site. And keep in mind, Amazon isn't the only place we're going to end. We're going to look at our competitor sites, and we're going to look at other affiliate sites and use Google search in general just to find products that other competitors don't even know about. So let me show you this cutlery, how expensive it is. For example, I found a whole nother category, Japanese knives, just by looking in Amazon, and then by going back to my Google external keyword list. I found Japanese knives, Japanese sets, which includes a multitude of things like this, chopsticks. Look at this, a chopstick set for $800. Now granted, people aren't going to eat with these, but there are people who buy these for their decorative nature and put it in their kitchen. $800, that's a good commission right there. And then you've got cutlery sets like this one for $700. So you can see we can start to add products that are going to make us a significant amount of money. Yeah, we're not going to sell tons of these items, but they sure do boost our revenue. So I found a bunch of products that can now make this Japanese recipe site extremely much more valuable than we had originally thought just by selling cookbooks. Join me in the fourth video where I show you the final blueprint that I came up with. I think you're going to like it. Thanks for joining me.